On that note, Jim Carrey's going to read for us today's daily word.
Absolutely. Aloha. Good morning. And today's daily word for June 28th. It says, I am the beloved of God. In times of darkness, I remember the difficulties that gave me the chance to grow. I faithfully turn within for wisdom and peace. As my old thinking clears away, divine light radiates from my heart to every aspect of my life. I dance in grace, knowing that I am a wondrous creation of God. In this state, my eyes open to everyday miracles. The sun rises every morning and nourishes the planet. Rainwater, the soil, and trees bear the fruit I enjoy. On top of that, Earth is home to so many amazing animals. God, the source of all creation, is active in my life too. I confidently affirm peace, happiness, good health, prosperity. I am the beloved of God. The reading from Song of Solomon. For now the winter is past, the rain is over, gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time for singing has come. Together, I am the beloved of God. I am the beloved of God.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
I invite you now to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And we see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us. We are that heart, moving around through the thrift store, back into Sunday school, our teachers and our children. And we just see our whole center right now filled with the love, the caring, and the compassion that we have for ourselves and each other. So right here, just take a moment to allow that love to move in and around and through you, expanding and filling this room. And right now, if you know of anyone in your life or in our world in need of prayer, or any circumstance of which there are so many in our world in need of prayer, and in your life, let us hold them in our heart as we sing the prayer for protection. I invite you now to get comfortable where you are. Close your eyes if that feels right to you. We begin our time of centering in prayer by just breathing, taking a deep breath, the very breath of life that is God, and hold it for just a moment. As we exhale, we begin to relax, breathing in again deeply, holding it briefly. As we exhale, this time we just quiet our mind. We calm our emotions. And once more, breathing in. And as we exhale this time, we rest in the consciousness of our heart, relaxing our breath. We truly know that this is our time of reconnecting with the God of our being. These are the moments of strengthening us, of giving us that sense of love and faith and hope. This is our time to just plug in to that secret place of the Most High God in us and closing that door. We know that right here and right now, we can affirm this truth. I am now open and receptive to God's living spirit of health in me. I am now open and receptive to God's living spirit of health in me. And affirm this silently in your heart. I am now open and receptive to God's living spirit of health in me. Right here and right now. In these moments, we know we are whole and complete. We truly know that all things work together for good. All things. With God, all things are possible. And right here and right now, if you have some kind of health challenge, whatever it may be, maybe you have great health right now, and you want that to continue. As we go into a time of quiet prayer, truly ask, seek, and knock, knowing that every prayer is answered. We are whole and well in every moment of every day, right here in the silence. I invite you now to take another deep breath. And as we exhale this time, we smile, allowing that light, that love, that expression of God's gift in you to shine upon your face. And when you open your eyes, that spark of life is right here with us all. And so in these moments, we truly say, thank you, Father, Mother God. Thank you for blessing us, for surrounding us inside and out with health and wholeness and renewed spirit of life. And so it is. Amen. How is everyone today?
Great.
Great, great, great. Today my talk is going to be about healing and all the different ways that we heal. Because how many of you came to Unity because you needed some sort of healing? How many of you stayed in Unity because you needed some sort of healing? Yes, very, very true. And that is what Unity is truly based on, is about healing. So I'm going to share with you what Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, wrote about healing. All healing is based on mental cleansing. So we've got to clear our mind of all those thoughts that stop us from being whole. Oh, when the mind is free from error thoughts, harmony in the body ensues. Permanent healing is never accomplished until the mental cause of the disease, the error thought, is removed. Jesus was a true healer, and when he cast out the error that caused the condition, he said, "Sin no more, lest a worse thing befall thee." The thing was caused by sin. And remember, in Unity, we're taught that sin means missing the mark. We're missing that place, that wholeness, that place where health resides, where harmony resides. We're off center. And thus the true way to heal is to find the mental cause and destroy it forever. How many of you have reoccurring negative thoughts? Anybody here? Do we have those same thoughts like when we were, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago? I mean, I'll often ask you, is that former spouse still hanging out? We do that, don't we? We carry those negative thoughts and those feelings that accompany them. Because once we have a thought, it couples with an emotion, and guess what? It's going to stick to us somewhere. Somewhere in our body, we're going to have energy that maybe it dissolves a perfectly healthy cell. Maybe it hangs on like gangbusters, and it's going to grow and become something ugly. But healing can occur at any moment. I came to Unity, I often tell you this, because of Myrtle Fillmore. I believed in prayer, and when I heard of her healing, it was like, this is a good place to learn some good stuff. And so to go on that deeper level of knowing that we can be healed of anything through creating a better mental energy is a very powerful thing. And we get the opportunity to practice it all the time, wouldn't you say? Yes. All the time. I often tell you that when I have a lesson, I get to practice it every week. So yesterday, we had a wonderful gentleman who came into the thrift store. He comes in all the time. And he brought in a bunch of food because he'd had a fundraiser. And it's like, we're so happy. There's all this chicken and stuff. So I ate some. And you know what? I didn't feel so good when I got home. And then continued to not feel so good all night long. And I was like, oh my God, I've never not done a Sunday in 16 years because of a health challenge. I was like, okay, God, you're so funny. You want me to experience this so I can manifest the truth about healing. And so the affirmation that I say often all throughout the day is the healing presence of the Christ is manifest in me now. When I have my regular massage, how many of you do that for your bodies? Get a massage. So when she's massaging me and it hurts so good, I'm always saying that the healing presence of the Christ is manifest in me now. And I pay attention to the thoughts that occur when I have a painful part in my body, because there's a memory. There's something there that says, I'd like to be released and I'd like to let go. And so that's what Charles Fillmore talked about, is that our body is continually flowing, renewing, and rejuvenating all the time. On Wednesday nights, I lead our meditation. And I've been doing it for over 25 years. a very similar meditation about healing. And we go through, and on the physical level, we talk to our body and we heal and claim health on every cell, deep into the marrow of our bones, deep into the cellular level, every muscle, every nerve, because we can do this. And isn't that a powerful way to heal? Is to take those affirmations of truth and to speak them to your body. Myrtle Filmer, who was a co-founder of Unity, this is her story. And many of you may or may not know that she went to this lecture when she was 40 years old. And it was by Dr. E.B. Weeks. And it was at Illinois Metaphysical College. And Myrtle came away from that lecture with the following statement, repeating itself over and over in her mind. In her mind. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. And she'd been told that she had 6 months or less to live. And so she went home and pondered this whole affirmation of truth. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. How many of you are told that you have maladies when you're a child and that you'll probably never outgrow them? It's true. But we're powerful people. And if we know that that is not a true statement, we can change it. So Myrtle wrote this. I was thinking about life. Life is everywhere, in animals and in people. Then why doesn't the life in the animal make a body like humans? Then I thought, the animal does not have as much sense as a human. Intelligence. As well as life is needed to make a body. Here is the key to my discovery. Life has to be guided by intelligence and making all forms. The same law works in my own body. Life is simply a form of energy, and it has to be guided and directed in a person's body by his or her intelligence. How do we communicate intelligence? By thinking and talking, of course. Then it flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body and have it do just what I wanted. I began to teach my body and got marvelous results. And it took her 2 years to work through that experience. And she lived to be in her 80s because she changed her consciousness. How many of you have something going on right now that you're struggling with? Ooh, lots of people. Anybody want to share? Hands go down, gets real quiet. Yeah. Okay, Jim.
All right, well, I had an accident in 1985 and a fish shoulder, and there was a lot of things going on. And it's like I got in touch this week with it. I just started holding it and bringing my awareness to it. And these memories flashed up that I knew I had to release and let go. And so it absolutely got some relief just by thinking about it, by touching it.
And you're blessing your body in the process. That's awesome. That's awesome. Because those memories are hidden. They're in us. You know, if any of you have seen that little movie Inside Out, and it's so great because it talks about core issues and core memories. And Dr. Phil talks about that we have 7 core memories in our life that can run us over and over again unless we become aware of them and change them. So Vince, you had your hand up.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, I was injured at work, and that injury is healing up somewhat, but because of that injury, I also tore a muscle in my shoulder, and that still gives me problems. I try to think about it, when we do the Wednesday night prayers, it feels like it gets better, and I can use it more, but it's still not really in good shape, so we just have more work to be done.
It's improving. So we look at that as an improvement because we can beat ourselves up, can't we? Do you ever tell your body terrible things? It's not good enough, it's not smart enough, not thin enough, not fast enough, all those things. And so every time we think of that negative thought or we have hatred, how many of you when you get sick, you have a thought like, oh man, I can't have this happen to me. Anybody do that? I have no time to be sick. Anybody say that? I started to think about that last night. And so it's like moving through. So what did I do? I'm saying my affirmations and moving through the evening, very close to the restroom. And whichever way, it was just going to come out all over the place, And so then I, in between, did my You Pray app. How many of you use the You Pray app? So I just would lay there and listen to the meditation, read the affirmations, because that changes our consciousness. And we have great support in Unity. Now it's at our fingertips on our phone. And so saying the affirmations of truth, hearing the beautiful words about I am healthy, I am whole, I am well, and oh my God, I need to be better by tomorrow morning. And I was like, okay. So as I was reading and researching for this lesson, Jesus always asked when someone wanted a healing, do you want to be healed? It's a very deep and powerful question. Because when you're ill or you have something going on, do we get glory out of the attention? Anyone? Sometimes we do that. Do we get people to feel sorry for us because we're not doing so well? Or we have this, that, and the other going on? So we want to step outside of that and move into the higher consciousness of truth, which is we are whole and complete at every moment of every day, believe it or not. Even when you're throwing up, you are getting better because the body knows what it's going to do. And how many of you have learned this? That when you do have a sickness like that and you're throwing up, the body's throwing out what is not serving you right now. And you have eaten something or drank something or made something that the body says, this will not work for me in here. And I'm going to give you an experience so you can let it go. That's how I was trying to manifest this thing last night. And then my husband got home, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I have to go in the bathroom. So it's just how that happens, And every time I would say, okay, God, do I want to be healed? Yes, I want to be healed. And then 10 days ago, I had a fall. Remember, I had this big old black eye? Hysterical. It's all healed now. Because we've got to do the work. Whatever healing you need in your life, we have to do it. And one story I want to share with you. How many of you are very familiar with Joel Osteen, right? Mr. Megachurch. Well, his mother, you may or may not know this, but Dottie Osteen in 1981 was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer and was given 2 weeks to live, 1981. And so she and her husband, which was Joel's father, I think his name was John, and so they decided that they weren't going to go the chemo route and all that sort of thing. And they were going to go into the Bible and they were going to do everything that they knew how to do to heal her body. And again, within 2 years, she was well. No signs of liver cancer. In the meantime, she'd had a hysterectomy to get rid of a tumor that wasn't serving her. But she's 50 years in recovery from being told she would not live. And so that's what happens when you get some kind of diagnosis. What happens to our brain? Fear comes in. And I invite you all to go watch that movie Inside Out because the fear character is crazy. And it bounces all over the walls, bringing all kinds of negative information from the past, from the future, from all over the place. And it's exactly what we do. Because when we get afraid, what do? We stop using truth to make us move forward. And we think, oh my God, this is the worst. How many of you get an owie and then you say, oh God, it must be cancer? I've had that thought in my head forever because many cancers have been in our family. And when you go to a doctor, they want to know your history because they're going to tell you you're susceptible to that cancer. So it's done unto us as we believe. And so Jesus always asked, do you want to be healed? And every time that person said yes, a healing occurred. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed from the negative thoughts? Do you want to be healed from a diseased body? We are always at choice to make it happen. We have the opportunity every moment of every day to change our thinking, to make it be more positive, to make, as Wally Amos always said, lemonade out of lemons, right? Because that's what we want to do, is to make something good out of something that doesn't look so good. And so we get the opportunity every day to say, what am I thinking right now? Be aware of your thoughts. If you have a hurting part in your body, talk to your body. Ask it, what's going on here? And then you go to the area of forgiveness, because that's what Myrtle Fillmore did. She asked her liver, all her organs, to forgive her for mistreating it. Forgive me for putting the wrong foods in my body. Forgive me for over drinking, over smoking, or whatever it might be. Forgive me for harming you, every cell in our being. So that's what I invite you to do this week, is to move forward in truth. How many of you a lot of people raised your hands about healing and needing a healing. So if you take that thought of, I wish things were different, I would like to have this, maybe you want more prosperity. But if you're always saying that I only have $1, guess what you're only going to have? $1. That's what happens. So if you want to be prosperous, you've got to think prosperity. You've got to think, I have more than enough money to meet all my needs. As Edwin Gaines used to say, I have all the cash I can spend. I used to love that, because I never heard that in church. Church was always about, church was always about that thermometer that told us how rich the church was. And I had a hole in my shoe, so I didn't feel very prosperous. I couldn't relate to that. But when she said that, she goes, I have all the cash I can spend. And so how many of you would like to have all the cash you can spend? That's prosperity. That's part of being healthy. Healthy in your mind, your body, and spirit. And so we want to move forward, because healing is a significant part of our lives on every single level. So I invite you to think about health, to think about wholeness, and to know that you have the power within you to heal right here and right now. And in Dottie Osteen's book, she writes that because all of her friends like Oral Roberts and all these famous people called and wished her well. And she had this special visitation from an angel, and God told her that all of the people around you can believe for you, but it's up to you to believe in you and to believe in your relationship with me, because God is the source of our supply in every way. And so she let go of everything. She continued to move forward. She did all the things that she normally did, even though she was very weak and frail. And she just kept working and doing her spiritual work. And she was healed. Myrtle Fillmore was healed. And so Charles Fillmore was healed as well from his withered leg. So this unity movement is about healing on all levels of our being: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So I invite you, come and visit us on Wednesday evening, because we do this guided meditation that heals every level. And we also send energy out into the world, because our world is in need of healing. And we are the ones who can do that. So I invite you to move forward this week to healing, whatever that looks like for you. And to let that health, that happiness, that joy, that love, that spirit that is God in you, to heal you from the inside out. Thank you, everyone. Before Larry plays for us again, this is our time when we receive our tithes and offerings. And we're truly blessed by all that everyone does for this ministry. We've been ongoing since 1986, believe it or not. Carlton Buboltz was here and did this ministry. Bonnie she was here from then. Virginia was here, Mamie was here. And so our church is a beautiful place, and we've done great works in this unity community. And so I invite you to hold your gift in your hand, to bless it and bless ourselves by saying our offering statement, which is in our bulletin. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way, and so it is.